Alright, in this video tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to set up a Printrbot simple metal with heated bed on an Amazon touchscreen LCD 3.5 inch. I think it's made by UC Tronics. I'm also going to show you how to set up the webcam, install the drivers for the display, and the touch calibration, which I'm not 100% sure if it automatically calibrates based on the screen or if it needs to be manually calibrated. I quite haven't figured out how to launch the manual calibration, so we're going to start with that. Alright, so here I've got a list of what we're going to need to do. The first thing we're going to need to do is install the 132 disk imager. I'm going to put a link in the description to every link I navigate to in this video. And we're also going to need the Raspberry Pi Repetier server image, which I'm going to link to that, of course, too. Just download it. Once you have it downloaded, it's going to download, I think it's a 7-zip file or a .zip. You're going to need to extract the contents of that zip, which is going to be a .img file. Once we do that, we're going to go ahead and put the micro SD card we'll be using in the Pi. We're going to need to put that in our card reader, as I'm cleverly showing here. Then from there, this may not come up as evident which one is the drive. My particular card reader shows 3 devices even with an SD card in it. I know mine is F, so we're going to go with that. That might be a little more difficult for you to figure out, but it's kind of going to have to be intuitive. So go ahead and open up 132 disk imager, select F in the devices, and then open that IMG file you extracted from the zip file. I'm going to demo pretty much how to extract from here. You can either double click on the zip and then drag the IMG file out, or right click extract, or whichever zip extraction tool you use. I'm using WinRAR in this tutorial. So yeah, like I said, open up that IMG file, make sure you have the right drive select, and then hit write. This is going to take a while. I think it takes 4 minutes, 5 minutes for mine to do it. Depends on the speed of your card reader, etc. So the write is successful. So now I believe we're going to go ahead and install the SD card into the Pi, which I've made another clever little video showing you guys how I do that. Yeah, fancy camera work. Alright, flip the Pi. I've got a plexiglass case on the back of mine. The screen's already attached. So go ahead and put the SD card in there one-handed, as skillfully as you can. Flip it back over. Make sure you have Ethernet plugged in for this, because it's not going to be super easy to connect the Wi-Fi because the touchscreen doesn't currently work. So I have a power button running to mine, so I pretty much just flip an inline button and it turns it on. So LAN's plugged in. This can take a few minutes. It's going to do this initializing application. So at this point, I can't show you how to do this part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip to the web interface because mine has already been registered for the license. So basically, you're going to go to that IP you see on the screen from your web browser, and then you're going to need to activate your 60-day pro trial, or I think it's 30-day pro trial. So just go ahead and go to that IP, the HTTP 192.168. That'll show your local address. So navigate to that. It'll have some on-screen instructions, and then everything after you get that should pretty much look like what I'm going to show you. So you already know your IP. You just saw it. This right here just shows you kind of how to navigate to your router and find the IP again if you can't find your Raspberry Pi's IP. So my local is 192.168.6.1. Yours is probably going to be 1.2 or 1.1 or 2.1. So now I've already found my Repetier server there, and I copied the IP. So now I'm going to paste that IP into the address bar there, and it's going to take me right to dashboard. Now this is where you would be to register your key, but I've already done that. So from here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I believe I'm going to connect it to the Wi-Fi. Global settings, wireless LAN. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my Wi-Fi password in. Then I'm going to hit save and then connect. That way, when I reboot it, it'll automatically know which one to connect to. Alright, so that'll take a few seconds to connect. Now you can see it's been successful. So next thing we're going to go do is, check the list here, we're going to do Putty. So we're going to install Putty. Go ahead and go to their download page, link in the description. Download it. I'm using Windows 10 64-bit, so we're going to be downloading the 64-bit MSI Windows installer. course, I've already installed it. So just go ahead and hit start, search for Putty. Now we're going to be using our new IP that we've used. We can get that from our router again. We're going to do :3344, which is the default port, and we're going to leave the port to 22 on the right. So this will come up. Hit yes. Now we're going to log in to the Pi. We haven't done this yet, so username is Pi, password is Raspberry, as I've shown in the text document there behind it, RASPBERRY. And that will get us into pretty much the administrative system of the Pi. So then from there, we're going to start feeding it some commands to install our LCD touchscreen. So first thing we're going to need to do is do the sudo apt-get update. We don't need to expand the SD card system. That's not an issue here. So if you triple click on that command in the web browser and then right click in the Putty window, it'll automatically hit return for you and start sending it. So that update's done. I'm skipping through time here a little bit, so yours may be a little bit slower. I'm going to try and notate when it takes a while. I'm running split window now just to make it easier. So this command here, sudo git. Git is not installed with Repetier by default. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to run this command and it's going to fail. It said git not found. So now I'm going to put a link to this as well. I forgot to put this in my little checklist, but we're basically just quick Google how to install git on Raspberry. Sudo apt-get install git is the command to install git. So I'm just going to copy it out of here. I'll put a link to this as well. If I don't put a link to this, I'll just put the command in the description. Just in case that link goes down, this will still be here. So I'm going to copy that apt-get install. So again, right click, copy, and then if you right click in the Putty window, it automatically pastes. I don't know if I mentioned that. Capital Y for yes to continue the installation. It's going to do its thing. And then what I can't remember. No, I didn't do a reboot yet. So I'm just going to keep going down the list. Now that git command will actually work. So what it's doing is it's downloading all the packages that we're going to need to run the rest of these commands. So now we're going to change the directory with the next command. Changed. Now we're going to start doing the backup install and restores. I'm not super familiar with Linux. I know this works, so we're just going to do them all. I'm not sure if the shortcuts past all this shenanigans. Then it's going to do a backup, triple clicking it, copying it, and then right clicking in the Putty window. It looks like this one takes a few seconds, so I start and stop the video while it's taking its sweet time. So that one's going to take a little while too. I believe that's the longest one there, the HDMI install, the sudo. So this is going to happen because the Pi is restarting. So that's normal. Hit OK and then close that Putty window. You're going to then need to restart Putty. So just close Putty altogether. Alright, so now that we've actually have the display driver installed, you can notice everything's a lot clearer. And we're actually going to have touch feedback. So now from here, we're going to do the calibration software. I'm honestly not sure if it automatically is going to calibrate the touch properly or what, because I don't know how to manually launch the calibration software. So I'm just going to do it for shits and giggles in case you can figure out how to actually launch it. So again, we're going to go back into Putty. The IP for me has changed again because I have switched from LAN to wireless. So I'm going to go back into my router and try and hunt it down. It's just going to be called Repetier server in the host name or device list. So in my case, it's 192.168.6.136 this time. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that again. And when you're putting it into Putty, you're going to want to put :3366 again. And just leave the port on 22. Hit OK. It's going to ask me this again because I changed connections. Login is Pi username and the password is Raspberry again, RASPBERRY. So now I'm just pretty much going to continue down the list. Pre-installation system, we don't have to do that, the restore part. So now we're just going to change directories. We're going to unzip the zip. We're going to go to the calibration directory, and then we're going to install the package. That, I believe, takes a few seconds. It's automatically going to reboot the Pi. It says right below that command I just ran. Execute the following commands, install corresponding... Oh, I lied. That was in the last one. So, it's just automatically going to reboot it. That's why Putty crashed again, or told us it's not responding. So, we've done the driver and calibration, so now we're going to actually install the Printrbot. So, now what we're going to do is I'm going to hop back over to the camera view and show you guys it plugged into the Pi along with the webcam. So here we are at the Pi. I've just plugged the printer in and the webcam. I'm using a Microsoft 720p HD cam, whatever they call it. So then from here, we're going to jump back onto the computer, and we're going to navigate to that URL, 192.168.6.136 for me. You don't have to put the port in this part. It's automatically going to find it. Then I'm going to click Add New Printer. I'm going to type just Printrbot for now. This is mine. I only have one printer, so I'm going to need to select Marlin for my Printrbot. And the port's going to be pretty evident for me. USB, Printrbot simple, easy peasy. I know my baud rate is 250,000. So I'm going to select 250,000. And my input buffer size is 127. So continue step 3. It's going to actually look to verify that the printer is connected. Then from there, continue step 3. I know my max volume is 152, 152, 152. Continue. 1.75 is my filament size, pretty standard. One extruder. I do have a heated bed, so make sure you check that. I do have a fan. Software power, I'm not sure. Mine works on yes, so I'm just going to hit yes. Finish. So now from here, I'm going to go to the settings and add the webcam, I believe. Yep. So settings, webcam. Oh, that's right. We need to go back and change your X, Y, and Z max because mine did not set it to 152. I had to go back in and change it again. So then go ahead and scroll up and hit Save Configuration. I didn't configure anything else because I don't plan on using my Pi to slice anything. I'm going to do that all and just upload G-code files. The G-code has all that information I care about. So here we're doing just JPEG 1-second intervals. Webcam orientation, you can change there by clicking the little image. USB webcam, assign. You can see there's a preview there, so I know that's working. You can change the resolution and the frame rate down there. But here we can see I went back to the printer and the webcam view so you can see it's working. So now I'm going to click back on the printer, and then I'm going to home it through the web interface, through the control interface here. I'm going to home it, and then I'm going to switch over to the webcam to show you guys it homing with the webcam view. So there I can actually see my printer homing. So then from this point, I believe I'm actually... Oh, I'm going to upload a G-code file here to the printer. So, and all these G-codes will stay on your Pi. So you don't have to use the web interface to do this every time. You can just do this all from the touch panel because that code's going to stay on there. So now we're going to go back to the camera view, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit. I'm going to home it again with the touchscreen. Home it again. My touchscreen is being a little weird right now. I mean, it is a very cheap touchscreen, so I don't expect this touchscreen to be perfect. They do come with a stylus, and that does help a little bit. But there I've hit home, so my printer's homing itself again for the second time. Now I'm going to go home again, and I'm going to select the G-code file that I just uploaded. Now, I have my G-code files includes the homing code, so I'm going to hit print, and it's going to home it again. Like I said, I don't plan on slicing with my Pi at all. I don't plan on doing any software slicing other than on my actual computer while I do all the editing. So that G-code file is going to have everything from start to finish to temperatures to sensors to fan controls, the whole 9 yards. So this is only going to cover G-code usage, not Pi side slicing. So I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. Thanks.